that the government at least cares. Yes, we face some challenges getting there, like bullying, mostly the online bullying. I'd like the government to do something about it. I really don't know what, but I feel like there is something they can always do. There is something they can always do. Yeah, because that is one of the challenges that the women in leadership face.
Thank you very much. You are very brief. You are just worried about bullying?
Yes, but I'd like to encourage the young women here and also the ones who are viewing in the televisions to take up these spaces and to express themselves. Yes, there are challenges, but it's worth it. It's worth it in the end. And I'd like to encourage each and every one of us who is here to not shy away from expressing ourselves, because this government is a listening government, and it's only through dialogue that our needs will be heard and it will take action.
Thank you very much, Sharon. And the government is a listening government, and I believe that we should also reciprocate by listening. There exist a lot of opportunities. We've just been told of $150 million US. Some of it in Sheng we call it JABA, but there's something called Youth Fund. No, it actually exists, but due to the fact that as youth sometimes we probably throw the baby with the bathwater, we do not get the opportunity to benefit from this. And so the Youth Fund, there is the Youth Fund. We would like to explain to us as Congress how we can access the Youth Fund and how the terms and conditions thereof of the Youth Fund, and actually tell us if it's something that exists so that the comrades may be happy.
Comrade power. So the Kenya Kwanza government is very deliberate on financial inclusion and access to credit facilities for young people, to support young people in commercializing their ideas and transforming themselves from job seekers to job creators. As you can see, there is a very big challenge of unemployment in the country, and we are looking at young people being the innovators, the idea creators, the challengers of the status quo as the solution to this challenge of unemployment in the country. So Youth Fund is a state agency under the Ministry of Youth Affairs, Sports and Creative Economy that has the sole mandate of supporting youth enterprises. We support youth enterprise development with affordable credit facilities, with training, market linkages, and mentorship support. So in terms of affordable credit facilities, we have individual and group loans for young people. In terms of group loans, all we need is a registered group and a bank account. And I want to tell you for a fact before I proceed, Youth Fund, few stories, AJAABU. Gitonga has asked me to clarify on that. Youth Fund exists. Here in Machakos, we are just here next to Semara Hotel. I'm happy that the venue favors our office. Our office is just next to Semara Hotel. When you leave outside on the right-hand side, you will see Youth Fund offices. And I'm accompanied here by the credit officer of Youth Fund, Machakos County. He's called Maurice Muia. I've brought him here specifically because I want us to have an impactful conversation. After this, you can pick up further communication with him on issues that I will not have addressed. So with group loans, all you need is to just have that group and a bank account. Come with your business proposal, then we will fund you. And once you get the money, we give up to 100,000 for the first loan. Once you get the money, I know the question is, how can I manage my business while I'm still in the university? You don't have to be the ones running that business. Muya was sharing with me there are some youths who formed a group and they have started a business, a tuk-tuk business. Youth Fund has funded them tuk-tuks that are running here in Machakos. So you don't have to be the ones running that business. We give you that money, then you are able to get someone you hire, you can supervise during your free time, but you continue with your studies. You get something to sustain you while you are studying, while you are running a business, and also creating job opportunities for other young people. So you don't need collateral with group loans. Then we have individual loans. Individual loans, you can take up to 2 million the first time, and with this you need security. You can actually get a security from another person. If you don't have, you can get security. You can use your parents' collateral. So you can take up to 2 million. And the beauty with our loans, both group and individual loans, is that the interest is very low. For group loans, they don't attract any interest, it is zero. I'm sure most of you have interacted with most fintech companies that are issuing loans, even the banks. And you know that they are very exorbitant interest rates. But with the Youth Fund, the group loans have zero interest. The individual loans attract 8% interest, which is still the lowest in the market. And also, our group loans graduate up to 3 times. Once you have taken the first time and you have repaid, that loan can graduate up to 3 times. You take 100,000, next time you can take 300,000. The third time you can take 900,000. So it keeps graduating depending with your credit history. In addition to affordable credit facilities, we also offer business development. We know most of you might have ideas, but you don't know how to actualize that idea, how to put it down into a business plan. So we help you. We have training for those who want to take up our loans. Even if you just have an idea, don't shy away from coming to our office. We will help you in putting that idea into a business plan, then we can fund it. So we do business development support. And in terms of business development support, we also offer market linkages. For those who have taken our loans, once your product is ready for the market, we can also help you to get the market for those products. Then we also have LPO financing. We realize that there is a law for AGPO which requires 30% of tenders to be reserved for young people, women and people with disability. But it has always been a challenge for these special interest groups to participate actively and meaningfully in the tendering processes. So for us at Youth Fund, we support young people who want to take part in government tenders by financing up to 70% of the LPO. And if you are wondering how you can get the government tenders, first you need to have a registered business. You can register this business on your own. You don't have to get a lawyer to help you register. You can go to eCitizen and then you register your business either as a business name or as a company. And once you have a certificate, you visit the next Huduma Center, you get your AGPO certificate. Once you have the AGPO certificate and the registration certificate for your business, you can approach the area MP, MCA, or the county department. And as I told you, all these offices have a threshold to meet of 30% in tendering. And they don't meet because there are no youths who go there to get these opportunities. So once you have your documentation, go to the office. I'm sure because the ST is here and he is very close to Honorable Caleb Mule, I know you can help the comrades here who would like to supply some of the NCGDF to the NCGDF project, and we can support them with the LPO financing. Then we also have asset financing for those who want to get an asset. You want to purchase an asset, like tuk-tuks, the example that I gave, or you want to set up containers to let to other people. If you want to purchase any asset, we also do asset financing up to 70%. Then in terms of labor export, I know that it is an issue now. It is an issue that is it's very contemporary. Currently, there are young people who are applying. They are being recruited to go to Qatar. As the Youth Fund, we support. We understand that the government's main priority is to create jobs locally. But if the jobs are also available externally, and young people are interested to go there, Youth Fund supports up to 300,000 Kenyan shillings to the young person so that they can work on all the documentation that they need to go and work abroad. We also do pre-departure training for the young people who want to go and work abroad and they have gotten an opportunity.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's clap for her. I'd love to move very fast to James Maina, Mr. James Maina, Director National Housing. And I'd love us to be surgical. I'd love you to tell these comrades what opportunities exist in the affordable housing program. Just specifically, I know we do not know whether it is Seneca or who said that it's the older who advise the young. Allow me to actually just ask specifically the opportunities that exist for comrades in the housing program.
Comrades Power. Thank you. I'm Director Housing in the State Department for Housing, not National Housing. So I would like to correct that. However, let me say that the affordable housing program is not something that has been born out of the blues. It's a program that has come through many years and of course within the development of our country. Okay. First and foremost, let me start by saying the future is urban. There are no two ways. Data available with us locally, internationally, indicates that not only Kenya but all the world, we are going to be living in urban areas. Of course, Kenya, we are behind compared to the rest of the world, but we have one of the most urbanizing trends worldwide. And it is expected by 2050, 50% of our population will now be living in urban areas. However, the most critical thing is that when our people come to urban areas and those who are born, they don't live in adequate housing. They live probably in formal settlements or what we normally call slums. To the extent that almost over 50% of our population in urban areas are living in slums. And this is what was seen by Kenyans when they went to vote for the new constitution in 2010. And they created Article 43 that makes housing a right and obligates government for Kenyans. And this program for Kenyans. And this program of affordable housing is an ambitious, transformative as well as very revolutionary, because it not only aims to provide housing, but the challenge of that housing is an opportunity to create other opportunistic benefits that goes together with housing. And one of the major ones is job creation. Let me say, the shortage of housing to date, over the cumulative years that government has not been working on housing from 1992. From 1992, there was introduction of something was called structural adjustment policy. And they said, World Bank, IMF, told us, government has no business in investing in housing. What did we lose? We lost jobs, we lost manufacturing, and we lost cumulative development of adequate housing and reasonable housing as contained in our constitution. And we have 2 million houses, almost 1.8 to be exact, that has been cumulative. The private sector was left to develop housing. The private sector has only been developing 50,000 houses. And out of 50,000 houses, only 1,000 units are affordable. I pause there. The demand is 250,000 every year. So what is the shortfall? Very simple mathematics, 200,000. And this is where the opportunity lies. And this is also where the challenge lies. The challenge lies in the provision of affordable housing, 200 units every year. And the opportunity lies, if you develop 200,000 housing every year, what are the opportunities that are you likely to get? What are the number of jobs that are you likely to create? And it's very simple arithmetic. Direct jobs, 3 to 5. Indirect jobs, 10 to 15. Arithmetically tells you this is what can be done. It means 200,000 multiplied by 10, you can create 2 million jobs if you achieve that. And this is what the government intends, and this is what the government is currently doing through the affordable housing program. And it has created a fund through a levy of 1.5% through income and through salaries to the individuals, employees, and individual citizens, as well as 1.5 to the employers. And that creates a capital fund that can be available now to fund housing. And it is kept very well through the Affordable Housing Board. And that money, once it is collected, goes directly to the fund, and it is only set aside to be used for affordable housing. And what is this affordable housing all about? The affordable housing is for the provision of affordable housing, institutional housing, and association, social and physical infrastructure. Let me first of all go to the institutional housing. The institutional housing covers Section 2 of the Act, defines what institutional housings are. Institutional housing includes 1, student accommodation. 2, housing for civil servants, housing for police, and housing for prisons, and housing for our defense. If you look at that category I've mentioned, the students' population currently, which is almost 1 million, the university student is 462,000 enrollment by last year's data. TVET, TTI, TVCs is allowed 408,000, again on the same data. And out of this data, and you tell me if I'm wrong, only a small percentage is accommodated within the university premises. One example we have is the University of Nairobi. It has a student population of 50,000. And out of 50,000, only 10,000 are accommodated within the university. And what is the resultant factor? I know you are the wearer of the shoe and you know where it pinches most. They are either accommodated at cheap housing that are not conducive for learning, that are insecure, or probably very expensive. When we went to do public participation for Affordable Housing Act, I was lucky I was heading the team that was in Machakos here, in Machakos Social Hall. One thing the parents told us, we will accept this affordable housing program if you accommodate construction and development of student hostels, because our students, our children, we are spending too much money to pay fees, but also to accommodate them in school. And we are always not secure where they are living. And that's what we did, and we told Parliament, let's accommodate institutional housing as well as student accommodation. And what have we achieved so far? So far we have put in our budget 180 TVCs across the countries, 182 to be precise. And we have put 46 universities in our budget. We have started this development. We have started in TUK, where we are doing 2,000 hostels. We have started in AJAABU, and we'll be here in KMTC and the Machakos University. In terms of housing, currently we have been able to achieve 124,000 houses under construction. And within these 120,000 houses under construction, we have created jobs that were not there, more than 160,000 jobs which have been created. We hope once this program is clear of taken, we'll be able to create 1 million jobs. But to you as students, there is some direct benefits, and they are in two forms. Number one is internship. For us, you know, every time you apply for a job after leaving school, and it's not only you who have faced it, it is even us when we left school. The first job you find, 10 years experience, 5 years experience, and the biggest question that everyone has been asking, and even as we ask the same question. Now me, I'm just fresh from school. Where am I expected to get a job, to get experience? I will need a job to get that experience. And this is what we are offering. Within the affordable housing program, in all our construction sites, we are taking student internship and attachments.
Mr. Director, thank you. I believe that they are quite, the comrades are just imbibing the wisdom that you have been spilling. And still on the same point, on the opportunities of comrades, probably I would want to digress it a bit to Madam Magdalene Kithi. And I visited Samburu some time back, and I saw a beautiful girl somewhere. And you know in Samburu they pay dowry using livestock. So, sorry for deviating, but what opportunities exist for comrades in the livestock industry? We have been told of the opportunities of internship that will be provided in the national construction, in the continuing of the building of the affordable houses. But for livestock, what opportunities exist for us comrades, and how can we benefit from the livestock industry? Is it just for the old school, or is it something that the comrades, even those of us who are doing financial engineering and not veterinary medicine, can benefit from?
Thank you very much. Good morning, comrades. I'm happy to be here to have this opportunity to meet the representatives of comrades from Lower Eastern. My immediate job was dealing with students, so I am very passionate about students, and I'm happy that you have this forum tonight. Now, I'm from the State Department. I'm in the State Department.
Please put off the rest of the mics so that they can hear.
Yes, the State Department for Livestock Development, you know, is in the Ministry of Agriculture. And as you all very well know, that agriculture is the mainstay of our economy. And it is not only the mainstay of our economy, but without it, we cannot be as shiny as you are. I'm sure you have, when we have our food on the table, it is not balanced. We don't feel happy when there is as the young people, maybe you are asking me, what can we do in the livestock sector? You don't have shambas. Maybe it's your parents that have tracts of land where you can keep animals. But there is a lot that the young people, you can do. You can invest in livestock production. You can get income. You can contribute in the GDP of our country. So there are enterprises in the livestock sector that do not require large tracts of land and that you can endeavor in. And as I said, agriculture together with the livestock contributes to a little over 12% of their economy. And it is one of the government flagships to achieve Vision 2030 through the better economic agenda. I'm sure you all know, we are aware of the bottom-up economic agenda. So in the livestock sector, we have the key projects that the government is promoting or is working hard at achieving. We have the dairy sector, we have the beef sector, and then we have the leather development, okay? Leather from hides and skins that we get from animals, okay? So there is so much that you can do. On top of that, there is a lot of demand locally and internationally for livestock products, okay? The country is exporting meat to the Arab countries and other countries. So even in the local, or rather in the country, there is a lot of demand. For example, there is demand for chicken, yeah, especially indigenous chicken. The government has come in to promote the germplasm, the genetics, improved genetics of most of the livestock enterprises. And so when you venture into, or you want to venture into enterprises that are related to livestock, you can always get improved germplasm so that you can have a profitable venture. So as I said, for the young guys, you don't say that you don't have a shamba. You can rear your chicken. You can rear your improved chicken. There are various breeds of chicken that you can rear for meat. Some are reared for eggs. And with a high demand, you don't require a lot of land. Just a small piece, and then you get the feed. So you can endeavor in such, and you get income. There is pig production. Then we talked about the dairy. You don't require a large tract of land to raise a dairy animal, okay? And then we also have dairy goats. We have beef goats that you can do. And you, of course, we are not telling you only for yourself. We are giving you this information so that you also pass it to the community. So there is no reason for saying that, of course, the jobs, the white-collar jobs are few. But the livestock sector, and especially the Ministry of Agriculture, it is here to appeal to you that let's not get fixated about the white-collar jobs. Let's get our hands dirty a little bit, and then the money will come flowing in our bank. So as I said, we have the poultry sector, the chicken, we have the pig industry, we have the small stock, that is the goats and the sheep, then we have the dairy. The beef is usually reared in expansive lands, but you can, yes, you can still endeavor in it. So what is the government doing to promote all this? So as the livestock department, we are in charge of regulation, we are in charge of the policy making, so that when you go to rear your animals, when you source the feed, you get quality feed. Yeah? When you want to sell your product, the government is involved in making a market. There is infrastructure, making of the market infrastructure, so that farmers can easily sell their products. Okay? So, for example, we have KMC, Kenya Meat Commission, across here. You can, farmers can sell their animals there, and then we get money. So this, I know Lower Eastern, Machakos, Kitui County is one of the ASAL areas where we have challenge of livestock, climate, rainfall and all that. But we have ventures that you can venture in livestock production, and the government is also promoting the sustainable use of rangelands, which are usually suitable for livestock production. Thank you.
Thank you very much. At least Madam Magdalene has told us that livestock for comrades is not just for dowry. It has got much more than that. So comrades, power. I need a proper response. Comrades, power. We are in a UDA event. One of those things I need to remind you is that in UDA, tukisema UDA unasema kazi ni kazi. Because I'd like us to talk to the guy from the National Employment Authority. And that is the anchor of why UDA exists. So nikisema UDA unasema kazi ni kazi. Na nikisema kazi ni kazi, unasema pesa mfukoni. Like I said, we are UDA unapologetically. Hello? UDA. Kazi ni kazi. UDA. Kazi ni kazi. Sasa nataka pia tukisema comrades unasema power ya nguvu, ama unasema UDA ya nguvu. Mnasema ile iko na udhaifu sana. Niko Machakos kweli? Unajua kuna kitu inaitwa wavinya, vinya, as in pahali pa nguvu. Si ndio? Hello? Comrades power. Tuko salama? Sawa sawa. So, Mr. Kerkich. I think I got that right. From the National Employment Authority. Baadaye ukimaliza utatuambia Kerkich means what. Semara management, please. Sorters on sound. Semara management, kindly sort us on sound. We are having a little bit of problems with audio. So, Mr. Kerkich, I'm saying once you are done, first of all, telling us what the National Employment Authority does and how comrades can benefit. I'd really love you guys to just focus what you do and how comrades can get help and services from you. And then you can tell us what Kerkich means, because Ker is Luo, Kich looks like it's Kale, so tutaongea hiyo baadaye, but let's start from what can comrades get from there.
Hello, 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 hello. Check 1 2. Check 1 2. Check sound. Check 1 2. 1 2. Check. Yeah, 1 2.
Comrades power. Comrades power. Okay, I hope you can hear me. Okay, thank you very much. I want to start by really thanking the ST for inviting
Check
us,
1 2. Check
the National Employment Authority, to
1
be part
2.
of this program. The National Employment Authority is an entity under the Ministry of Labor. And one of our key mandates is to register job seekers and facilitate placement, which is appointment in jobs. The other mandate is to register and regulate private employment agencies. We also register local employers. And we also take stock of available job opportunities locally, and also opportunities that are available outside the country, which particularly are sourced by the registered recruitment agencies. So basically that is the main functions we do as an authority, and of course coming up with policies on matters employment. Indeed, unemployment rate in Kenya is high, and thank God the current government is really focusing on reducing the unemployment rate. And so, from the National Employment Authority point of view, we've tried to facilitate job seekers, including you comrades. The moment you graduate, we expect you to have actually even registered as a job seeker, so that you can be facilitated to get employment. We register job seekers so that as a government, when His Excellency the President goes out to source for jobs, he is able to tell any country or any government that we have got these specialities, this number of Kenyans with these specific specializations. And by doing that, we will be able to get as many jobs as possible. Recently, you remember the President went to Germany and he was able to secure some jobs, and through bilateral labor agreements. In fact, one of our key role is to come up with bilateral labor agreements, and which is normally signed by the CS Minister of Labor. So it's our work as the National Employment Authority to initiate the bilateral labor agreements, then it's signed by the CS Minister of Labor. We've got a job portal which is www.nearims.go.ke, and probably maybe some of you are not aware of that, but now at least through this forum you will go out knowing that there is a job portal called www.nearims.go.ke. I was doing an analysis of the jobs that are available I think 3 days ago, and we've got over 500,000 job opportunities from various countries, ranging from Australia, Kuwait, Denmark, Italy, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, many other countries. And we've got over 500,000 job opportunities, which are there for you to apply. Just like the peers say that it's you to take a step to do what? To apply, to register and apply for those job opportunities. If you do not do that, my friend, comrade, you will not get the job. The job will not come and look for you. You have to initiate by registering and applying. I hope I am communicating. You have to take a step by registering and applying. These are job opportunities that are normally sourced for by the various recruitment agencies. And someone I know will be asking, where are these job or recruitment agencies? Which ones are legit? Which ones are not? All those agencies are listed in the portal, and you can easily know which one is legit and which one is not legit. If you go to the portal www.nearims.go.ke, you'll be able to search, just type the name of the agency, and you'll be able to know whether that agency is licensed or not, whether the license is valid or not. You'll be able to get the information. So it's upon you to register.
Thank you very much. It's 11:55 or slightly over that.
Allow me to just say one thing. Apart from being employed, comrades, you can also be owners of agencies, which you can now be have your own self-employed. That is, we are also giving you that opportunity to register to register an agency so that you can be an employer of your own and you make even more money. A number of agencies that are registered now were actually workers who went outside the country, maybe even as house helps, but they came back with money and they have registered agencies and they are now making good money. So it's an opportunity for you also to do that. Still allow me one more minute.
I'll allow you another round during the question session. I wanted Professor Machuki to speak to the universal health care, but as he picks the microphone, I'd love to remind you that we are also having this conversation online. Conversations nowadays go beyond halls. So follow this conversation, contribute to it online. Hashtag UDA Machakos chapter. UDA Machakos chapter. Hashtag UDA Machakos chapter. The keywords are UDA town hall. We are here. All of you have got smartphones. Piga selfie. Sema uko hapa. Usijifiche mpaka watu wakuonee kwa TV. Pia sema uko hapa, kuna kitu unachangia na hizo vitu zingine zote. Let's have this conversation running online. Sawa sawa, you can tweet, you can retweet. Have this conversation going. Comrades, power. So, Professor Machuki, it's 11:57. I'd love comrades to ask questions at exactly midday. Chief, but I can give you an extra 3 minutes. So that then by exactly 12:05 you are done. On Chief, it's so much around. Please help us.
Thank you, moderator. It is very encouraging to engage audience that have one key resource that gives them comparative and competitive advantage, and that is intellectual capital. In this hall, we bring these conversations because this is where intellectual output is very significant and required. On she, sha, and the whole conversation around it, I'll want first to pick the strategic intent of His Excellency the President on universal health coverage. In the better plan, you will find this strategic intent running through. What is the intent? One is to institutionalize politics, coming out of individual, tribal-based politics to issue-based politics. Number two, democratization of the economy. Many a times, the economy has been in the hands of the capital owners at the very top of the economic pyramid. Bringing this conversation to the youth who have to deploy their innovative intellectual output into converting ideas into business opportunities at the very bottom of the pyramid, then moving towards making everybody part of the conversation in matters to do with economy. Number three, entrenching constitutionalism. And that is why public participation and all other aspects to implement the constitution are very key. So these principles anchor the main priorities in the better plan where UHC comes in. Cost of living has been very high. The focus is to bring it down. Unemployment issues have been raised here, and we want to talk about ending unemployment. Inclusive growth and enhancing the revenue base. The pillars that can have quick turnaround in those priorities is agriculture, and it has been highlighted how agricultural transformation, both crop production and livestock, can lead into increasing exports, reducing food imports, and ensuring that there is food security. Universal health coverage is at the core of the 5 pillars. Of course, affordable housing is among the others, micro small enterprise development, and digital superhighway and the creative economy. Those form the key pillars of the bottom-up economic transformation agenda that is spearheaded by this administration. But you will also realize that in that plan, you have enabler sectors, manufacturing, ICT, good governance, you have climate change and education, as well as one of the things that have been very much talked about, women agenda. Now, let me very quickly start on this core pillar, universal health coverage, by asking a question. How many of us have registered into SHA by show of hand? Very good. Not a significant number. But when you get into SHA, that is the point of entry that you provide information for purposes of you starting to consume the services of the Social Health Authority, but most importantly, on Social Health Insurance Fund. I will come to that, but let me give you a very synoptic account of how health reforms in Kenya have led us into universal health coverage. In 1965, we had the establishment of the National Hospital Insurance Fund that was focusing on access that was so limited to coverage, insurance coverage, to those in white-collar jobs in the public sector. In 1996, reforms were then introduced to change, instead of National Hospital Insurance Fund, to National Health Insurance Fund. But still at that level, we then brought on board individuals who would contribute into the fund, and including those in the informal sector. In the year 2004, we have what is called Social Health Insurance Fund. So, what you note in those 3 episodic changes is that there is the insurance fund at the end. What is changing is from national hospital, then there is national health, now we have social. Now, take a note, at that social health insurance, that is where we have universalization of access to quality health care. How is it possible? It was established that the main concern in access of quality health care is, 1, the commodities, that is the drugs and other health equipment like the x-rays and so forth. Number 2 is about the facilities themselves. Some of these facilities are in the management of the county government, and the Constitution 2010 devolved healthcare system in Kenya. Number 3 is about governance. The resources that used to be contributed by payroll workers and individual contributors, the governance of that fund through NHIF was found to be problematic. Now, In advancing the issue of universal health care, government has, through various legislation, ensured that everybody accesses quality health care by way of enhancing financing, by way of ensuring that the issue to deal with the governance is dealt with, and by way of ensuring that the facilities where this health care is accessed are of high quality. Now, Madam Moderator, because of the sensitivity of this matter, allow me to then take them through a simple synoptic journey for them to understand why some of these issues are raised and how they can be addressed.
Prof.
Number one.
Just a moment.
Yes.
We are way past the time we had actually afforded you, and I know these other side is actually itching with questions. So I'll
thank you. Let me focus on SHA.
You do it in just 2 minutes.
2 minutes.
Yeah.
Social Health Authority is an institution that has been established to replace the National Hospital Insurance Fund, and in this authority you now have 3 funds that Kenyans are able to access health care. The first fund, where Kenyans are finding themselves mixed up, is the Social Health Insurance Fund that has been made available by enacting an act of parliament called the Social Health Insurance Act. In this particular fund, Kenyans are supposed to contribute. How? Those who have been contributing to National Health Insurance Fund continue to contribute, but at a rate that has been now formalized at 2.75% of the gross income. Those in the informal sector, there is what is called mean testing instrument that gives the level of income on the basis of which 2.7% can be calculated. At the point of registration into the Social Health Authority, the information you give gives you the means testing rank that then tells you how much you are supposed to contribute into SHA, into SHIV. So, if you have not registered and given the information, then you cannot be brought on board so that you can continue accessing the services. Number 2, the Social Health Authority is responsible for onboarding medical facilities, health facilities, both public, private, and mission. There are 2 processes. There is empanelment by the regulator, and then there is contractual engagement. The Social Health Authority is supposed to contract the public as well as private and mission hospitals. So, if you go to a facility that has not rendered itself for contractual engagement with SHA, then the facilities or the services may not be available. But all public facilities are on board to provide those services. So, the challenge in accessing the services is, first, Kenyans have to register, provide information that will then determine their level of contribution into SHIV so that they are able to access the health, the services in the various facilities. You remember that the community health promoters, 100,000 of them, have already been launched, and they provide care at household level, and they refer any patient to level 1, level 2, level 3, and at that point, government capitates those facilities to provide the health care. As you progress to level 4, Social Health Insurance Fund sets in. As you graduate into level 6, the critical health, the critical illnesses fund sets in, and that is fully capitated by government. So the confusion between SHA, SHA is the authority, and SHIV is the fund that is insurance based, contributory based. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Ushers, please take your stand. There's someone I want to talk to, and because I've realized most of my speakers are not behaving on time, I'll stand here. This one is called Brian Higgins Mbugwa. He's our Deputy Executive Director. He was once young. I'm not saying you're old. So I'd love him just in 2 minutes to actually tell us the role of young people in politics. Just in 2 minutes. That's why I'll stand here.
Thank you very much. I'll stand here. Comrades, power. I'm not a politician, but I'll give you a few advice. Number one, for you to be in power, you need to organize. And during Gen Z protest, the young people are saying they were leaderless, formless, they were just amorphous. And as our constitution is structured, for example, there are special seats for young people, persons with disability, and the marginalized. And most of them are allocated to political parties, not independent candidates. So you can go by as independent, you capture seats, but it's only political parties that can nominate those special categories of individuals. So as young people, I advise you to join political parties and organize from within political parties. And one thing that I've heard from the panelists and what we've been getting feedback from the various comrades chapter that we've been into is quite clear. For example, during our time, during SG's time, university placement was based on bed capacity. So people had to wait for 1 year, 2 years before they join universities. So you people are privileged at this point. But then the current president, when he was the Minister for Higher Education, said, do we have to wait for bed capacity to increase, or do we admit more students? Then we have a better problem of solving the accommodation issue, rather than wasting an entire population for waiting for bed capacity to be up. So those are the questions that you should be asking some of the policies that are in place. Some of them might not be popular. For example, most people are telling me housing ni ya watu ya mjengo, which partly is true, majority ni watu ya mjengo, but the engineers, some of you are studying engineering, they are surveyors, kuna wale driver wa lori huko nje, cement factories iko na managers wenye nyinyi mtakuwa, wale watu ya mawe, kina Mulili wanakata mawe huko, all of them depend on that. And also, kwa hiyo site ya mjengo, kuna wale wa mama wanauza chakula hapo, and they feed their kids from that. So, if you look at the broader aspect of the housing, the ecosystem is so large that it's not just kwa watu wa mjengo. Hata nyinyi mkimaliza shule, wale structural engineers, surveyors, quantity surveyors, mtapata hiyo kazi. So, on the issue of e-employment, watu wanasema mnapeleka house girls huko nje ama nini. But let me challenge you. I saw the other day that the candidates sitting for KCSC are almost 1,900,000 and something thousand. From statistics, it's between 20 to 25% who make it to the cutoff point of C+ and above. Another percentage goes to technical college and tertiary education. And then there's a large percentage that their qualifications end at high school level. So, if you ask clearly, those jobs that are out there, zenye mmesikia tu za house girl, maybe ni hizo kesi umesikia mtu amepigwa Saudi Arabia, but there are so many jobs out there. And when we were building this manifesto, we went round the country and we got feedback from most people. And the president realized one thing. There's the issue of diaspora. And most of the Kenyan diaspora were second, third generation. Then you find your auntie went to the US 20, 30 years ago. When he was fresh in the US, he used to send money back to the country. But now, they got kids of their own in the US. So they stopped the remittances. But now these fresh people going out there, they still have ties locally, and they will be able to remit some remittances. So I was telling some young people, oh, you know, this government has brought the dollar down. Then they asked me, dollar inani affect aje mimi? Mimi natumia Kenya shilling. And I laughed. Maliba has told you, how many people have smartphones here? By show of hands. How many smartphones are manufactured in the country? Very few. So that's how dollar affects you. Ikienda juu, bei ya simu inaenda juu, bei ya mafuta inaenda juu. So stabilizing the shilling, it benefits you directly. So, as comrades, you need to challenge these people intellectually, going beyond the populist. Lastly, somebody posted the other day that Niko Town CBD, duka zimefungwa. So economy is doing bad. How many people here shop online? How many? Both for food, for items. So what will happen to the shops in the next 10, 20, 15 years? If they do not adapt, they'll become obsolete. So, if you see the shops closing, ask yourself, what about the online shops? What about those Uber Eats? I'm sure, SG, when was the last time you entered into a banking hall? Kitambo sana. Because access to finance has been digitized. So please tell people to digitize and to adapt, so that you don't post a photo of shop closing and say economy is bad. Tell them to adapt and go to where the people are. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Quite an easy way of wrapping it around. So questions. I'd love to remind you that we only give you an opportunity to ask one question. You're 500 of you. If you ask 10, others will not be able to talk. For a comment, I can give you an extra minute. I'd love ushers to actually, if you are ready to go, you're good to go. So your name, the institution, and your question or your comment. Please stand up. Okay. Since the microphone is problematic, allow me to use mine. Simama tu, tatumia yangu, mimi na hii tutatumia tu.
Good afternoon. My name is Motulu from Kibwezi West constituency. The whole country right now knows Kibwezi West. Mine is a question about housing. There has not been sufficient information to do with housing, especially now that housing was meant to be for low and middle income earners. I think UDA as a party has numbers in the parliament, and you really saw what happened some weeks ago. You can use our numbers to come up with something like a Rent Relief Act, right? Where renters who who pay rent, especially the middle income earners, we come up with a legislation to help them, right? And then a comment. Just give me time, my friend. A comment. As young people, I want to pick from where Madam PS left. Madam PS was talking about mental health. As young people, we've been branded as a generation that believes it is either our way or no way, or the highway. It is the high time we change things. Many battles since independence, and even in developed democracies, many battles are won in boardrooms rather than in the front line. When you've been called by the president for a dialogue, just show up. Being in the front line does not get you a trophy, burning roads, destroying property. I submit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone who remembers his name? What did you say your name is? How many of you remember his name? Ebu rudia jina.
I am Mutulu. M-U-T-U-L-U. Thank you.
Mutulu. Okay. Please, just come here. We have got one mic, so you'll understand. You'll be a little bit chap. I allowed Mutulu a little bit of time because he was the first one. Please, let's stick to the rules so that we get moving.
Okay, good afternoon. I'm Achalo Mark Tyson. I come from Homa Bay, but I study in Kitui. I'm the student leader, the president of Southeastern Kenya University. If I check this list, where it is? First of all, it is a request. The second paragraph, the thesis statement. This initiative aims to create a platform where university and college students can engage directly with the ruling party, with the ruling political party, allowing them to share their concerns, ideas, and aspirations. So mine is just a request. Southeastern Kenya University has a vast land, and I think in Africa we are third largest, kwa ukubwa. And our students are facing a lot of problems in terms of housing. And God willing, we have the director for housing here. I think you will get to hear that. So please, when you are considering other universities for building the institution housing, consider Southeastern Kenya University located in Kitui. And then another thing, also a request. Currently, our students are facing a lot of problems in terms of help. Being in the second paragraph, you said you will help universities and colleges to meet them at the point of their need in terms of ideas and concerns. So please, plead with the help guys to release the funds to our comrades. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd love to go to the other side. In short, they are saying the ministry should transact. Let me pass. Kindly.
Good afternoon.
Raise your voice, please.
Good afternoon. Okay, I'm Victoria Mweni. I'm the former academic secretary, Machakos University, and the graduate, graduate jana. So my question goes to the person who talked about the new funding model. I was doing Bachelor of Commerce and I was paying 14,000, and the second years and first year, the household, the 5% they are going to pay, the 5% is 21,000. Help me to understand how I'm going to talk to that student to understand the new funding model. It's fair enough for the student, because I was paying 14,000, she or he is paying 21,000. For me, a comment to the new funding model, what I can say is that you can increase the bands so that we can satisfy the needs of the student. The 5 bands are not enough for the student. So let us increase the bands to be able to accommodate all students according to how the parents are being paid. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anybody in the middle here? I think we've not. We were in the middle here. Let me go at the back. We'll be back. Okay, there's a working microphone here.
Right, I go by the name Miri Juma from Kitui, currently a student at Egerton University. And my question is, how does the party, when I'm talking of party, I'm referring to UDA, how does it ensure that the youth representation reflects advanced backgrounds and perspectives? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Anyone else in here? I'll be back. So that then we do not get incest in the same place, so many guys. Anybody in on this line here? There was somebody in front there. Please come.
Thank you. My name is Obadia Kiplagat, Mamangina University. To our SecGen UDA, I would like to our SecGen UDA, it's a request to the government, now that it is the ruling party headed by the president, that we are asking our peers and our leaders here about what is the ministry having for the youth, So we are requesting that we have youth in these positions so that they understand our problems directly. For example, the ministry headed by by our able minister, Murkomen, former senator. We should have given that position to somebody below 35. So it's my request. Number two is on grassroots elections. I've had a name and somebody in charge of grassroots elections update us on grassroots elections. Personally, I applied, I paid some money, and we have not had any updates so far. And lastly is the bursaries that are being given by government to the MPs and so forth and so on. If they were combined together, I think it will get to an amount to give free education, because they are a lot. So something should be done about the same. To touch on bursaries, these are ruling party. It should be having good transaction. We can also create a bursary portal and from UDA directly to the comrades so that we apply and get something. Thank you.
Clap for him. So I'd love those questions to be responded to. Then we come for round 2. Before they respond to the questions, I wanted the ED to come, because there's a question that actually pertains to him directly. The question, I think, by the lady at the back was on how does the party ensure that nominations factor in, youth nominations actually factor in youth from diverse backgrounds. This one. So that you respond properly. Nominations actually factor in youth from diverse backgrounds. I know you are not necessarily old, but you are not also not very young. So you have got experience. You are in a better position.
Maliba, you know how to get the age of people. Good afternoon. Now, first of all, I want to thank you for this opportunity. You guys have been amazing. You are quiet and you are attentive, as Maliba said. How many of you are UDA members? SG, the people who sit at the front are only UDA members. The rest of the back are wondering what UDA is. Do you have a phone? Do you have a phone? Please, let's go and do something. We can register as UDA members. Sindio? Because what I heard today is that when we said Comrade Power, you said UDA. Sinikweli? Comrade Power? Comrade Power? So can we register as UDA members? The reason why we are UDA members is because the ideology of UDA is what you transcribe in. You know, when Madam PS talked about leaderless and headless and something Gen Z's, you know, government is run by parties. Are you aware of that? If you are a member of UDA, you can be able to challenge the policies of UDA within the government. Sindio? Just like you are members of certain universities, you are a member of, did I hear Mamangina University? Did I hear of Machakos University? You are going to talk about Machakos University if you are in Machakos University. Sindio? You cannot talk about Machakos University if you are in KMTC. Sini kweli? So you only talk about UDA when you are in UDA. So it is only wise that we become members of UDA so that your chapter in that university can challenge government policies within that UDA. Sini sawa? So if you have your phone, please press *509#, and from there you follow the instructions and register as members of UDA. Sio ni sawa? We are doing grassroots elections. Somebody has asked about grassroots elections. Among the 20, we have positions. We have 20 positions at the polling center. Among the 20 positions at the polling center, we have 4 youth representation. 2 ladies and 2 gentlemen. So we don't discriminate where you come from. We just pick the number of, if you win in your category of the youth in the polling center, then you become a member of delegates at the ward category. In the ward also we have positions of the youth, and so in the sub-county, which is the constituency, and the county. So in matters of nomination, we have taken care of the youth. In the national elections, we have positions for the youth. And each, for example, at each county, depending on the number of seats that we've won and the number of votes that we voted, then you can be given nominations from that county. For example, in Machakos, did we have any youth nations for women? You know, we did what we call gender top-up, and in gender top-up we pick the women who are youth. Are we together? And also we have the category for PWDs and the youth. So among the county, we have categories for the youth, and at the gender top-up also, we have women who, for example, if in Nakuru County, the number of men supersedes the number of women, so that we meet the 2/3 gender rule, the women are given what we call the gender top-up. So among the gender top-up is the youth that we consider as a party. And you have also seen in the national government, the youth have been given positions. The Minister of Water is a youth. Sinikweli, he is below 35 years. So I think as you are advising the president, you can just swap Murkomen with water, and the water guy becomes Minister of Youth, and then we'll have solved that problem. Thank you very much.
Obadiah decided to impeach the Minister for Sports and Youth. So I'd love to go to housing. You had questions that I'd love you to respond to, but because of the mic, allow me to give me mine.
Thank you. This is a very good concept that you have brought, rental relief. Because when you have rented a house, the landlord will still ask you for money. And this is no more serious like during the COVID-19. A few landlords were giving their tenants some relief, others won't. But if this is registered, that's true, it can be something very, very important. But let me take this opportunity to introduce to you how to own a house in the affordable housing program. We are in Machakos. Our first lot of affordable housing in Machakos are 220. They will be handed over in December. That's the completion date. The contractor currently is allowed 85%. He's doing the finishes. We are expecting him in the next few days that are remaining to December. He'll be able to hand over. These units, you can access them simply by registering to our online platform called Boma Yangu. Boma Yangu, you don't need to know anyone. You just need to dial 832#. You start the home ownership journey. You save star 832#. You start your home ownership journey. The registration indicated there for 200, you still remain your money. You pay, you choose the house where you want, you choose the various typologies, and then you start your home ownership journey. The program gives ownership by purchase directly by cash. We have units of low income, low cost housing that cost around 840,000. That's the lowest level. And you pay rent to own 3,200. You can opt to pay cash or you pay over a long period of time spread across 30 years. And the program allows you, as you grow older, as your family grows, you can transfer that unit, get a bigger unit, or transfer the unit. Maybe you have transferred to Mombasa, you take your house, and I usually like saying this. It has never been possible for anyone to transfer his unit to one town to another one. But you can walk with your unit from Machakos to Mombasa. How do you do so? Once you identify a unit, you surrender the unit in Machakos, you identify the one in Mombasa, you transfer all the money that you have paid, and then you get another unit. All our units are the same price across the country. They are subsidized with low interest rates of 3% for the low cost housing, and for the medium house at 6%. That has never happened. Currently, the interest rate goes from 18% to 20%. Impossible to own. That sorts you out in the short term and your load journey and the long term as well. Yes, the affordable housing program is also addressing student accommodation across the country. I've checked on my phone. We are later put into a budget 1,200 units for Southeastern University. So you are there. And we have across Kitui, Makueni, and Machakos over 54,000 rooms, no, 54,000 beds for student accommodation.
Thank you. Dr. Machuki, Professor Machuki, she asked, she paid 14K and now for the same course somebody else is paying 21. Please help her get the rationale.
Thank you very much. Congratulations for your graduation. Join the journey into growth and being included in this conversation. Ideally, it tells you that the Madam Mweni is a consumer of the differentiated unit cost. She has graduated on the old funding model, where the actual cost of the program was not a factor in funding university education. That is one. Two, in what she did not disclose is what was the cost of that BCom program, and under the time she was taking it, and what is the current cost of the BCom program. The actual cost has been costed by the university where she graduated from. But ideally, this is what then was a challenge. The universities used to receive capitation based on the differentiated unit cost across different programs. Currently, the new funding model, the actual cost of the program is determined because in that cost is the quality of the deliverable from the university. Second, the household contribution is based on the actual cost, while what she was paying was actually being subsidized by government through capitation based on a cost that was not the actual cost of the program. So, I can also give an example. Omar Hassan here and myself went to the same university, and we used to pay 8,000 shillings as tuition for all the programs. That is what will be capitation. And then the rest of the money we are given as loan, depending on your level of need. You used to receive 18, I used to receive 40. So this thing never started today. He was receiving 18, I used to receive 40 because I was from a poor background, he was from a well-off background. But but now, and that is the only moderator, the only mistake which in quotes that this administration has done is to make these things transparent, that the level of need is what determines your funding, and it follows the student, and it is based on actual cost of the program. So the answer to Mwen is this: the 14,000 was based on the differentiated unit cost, which was not a percentage, it's just arbitrary, and it was based on the differentiated unit cost. The 21,000 is empirical, based on the actual cost of the program, and it is highly subsidized by government through scholarship, because it did not also tell us whether her sister or her brother is in which band, so that it is clear. But 5% is from the most vulnerable, and that is most subsidized by government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Madam PS, I had questions from young people here, specifically wanting to know how they get into government. You've run before. You are now in government. Will you tell them the opportunities that exist for them as young people, specifically for those who want to be in politics, so that then we don't go back to that? I'll be going back shortly for the next round, but I've had people ask that, and since I know you've walked that journey, you will be in a better position to do that in a minute or two.
Thank you very much. Just to bring you into perspective, in my policy class, in my master's class, I was told you cannot separate politics, and development. I'm sure maybe you have heard the same and you know. So the moment you brand yourself a politician and forget the aspect of the professional you are, you start to lose it. Because as a schooled person, as a learned young woman, whether I'm not very old, because I don't know what young people you're looking at in this government, and I think this is the first administration to give young people opportunity to serve. And you know, these positions are not just because you want to be represented. There's more into that. Is a leadership, is a policy position. So what makes you that person a leader is looking for? So I did not get into politics because I had nothing else to do. I thought I can bring a difference in the people of Kaiti. And number one is because of involving yourself objectively in what is happening in your area and in the politics of the day. Because that now brings you into the perspective of where we are going as a young person. And then you show up. So, and I didn't have money, the other thing, before you, and I didn't know many people. So don't look at, who do I know to get myself into this? So I just got into the space. I decided to bring a different kind of a leadership to the people of Kaiti. And decide how. Why not try this path which is not walked by a majority of young people? And I went for it. And the UDA party gave me a ticket to, of course, after doing what most of us do in this region, of what we call kokwito chama kila kitu tigo. But then I was too small, too young for them. That is the other thing you need to know. And the only place I got an opportunity to vie is in UDA. But then I don't just come out as a politician who has no clue of what is happening after the politics. And that is how I got an opportunity to serve. So show up because you know what is happening. Be that person who stands out and understand the current issues. And when you are given an opportunity, you are given a role to play, do it at your best. So the opportunities are there, but I told you, you must get yourself out of the milieu, out of the crowd, so that, because we have so many young people in this country. If UDA is looking for 2 representatives in the party, a male and a female, what will make the leadership remember you out of the so many young people we have in this country? And that has to be there. I liked the young girl there. That is how you start. Talk. When people ask for questions, be the first one. Even if you didn't hear the question, ask when you're already standing to answer. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think I'll be bringing in at least the SG. I want you guys to hear his voice, but I'd love to give the panelists, a few of them I know who have not responded to, then I'll come back to you. SG, tulia tu. Nimeona umeanza karibu usimame. So, but then I think the PS insists on one thing. Woody Allen says that 80% of life is showing up. Showing up is what God was doing with people in the Bible. No one was called to do anything who wasn't doing anything. Mungu hakuwahi chukua msana kula jaro. You must be doing something. Everybody who was called to do anything was doing something. Hello? Kamala Harris has told us that mama yake alikuwa anasema, don't just sit there, do something. Sawa sawa. So before I bring in the SG, I'll also ask Joshua Arabsang to also talk to us. But then from there, unajua sisi ni watu wa kazi. Kazi. There's something you are supposed to say as you respond to that, because I think there are issues around work. I don't know whether you have got a microphone ama nikupatia yangu. Is there a mic that we can actually use on that end? You had a line you wanted to finish. I'll love you to actually just finish that in 2 minutes.
Thank you very much, Madam Moderator. I think basically what I wanted to say is that in this region we have got an office within Machakos here, if you are not aware, where you can be assisted to register as a job seeker, and registration and application for employment is free of charge, absolutely free of charge. Most agencies who recruit actually do facilitate, pay for your recruitment up to the time where you go to the destination country. And I'm glad that the Youth Fund have confirmed that they can actually even provide some loans to facilitate the processing of employment to go and work outside the country. Apart from that, comrades, we can also do online work. Online work pays. At the comfort of your seat, you can earn a lot of dollars. So let's also embrace online work. Through the Ministry of ICT, as the PS had mentioned, the Ministry of ICT are setting up digital apps whereby we can go search for jobs, register for as job seekers, apply for jobs, or even do the online work. So let's utilize the infrastructures that the government has put in place. Finally, I want to recognize my colleague who is at Machakos. If you can allow maybe him to stand, just to stand, to wave, so that you can know him. He's called Geoffrey Mukendi. He's the one in charge of, he can mention the location of the office.
Thank you for the opportunity I've been given. Also in Machakos, we have the Kenya Labor Migration Resource Center, which is...
Number one, it's the great launch of the UDA Comrade chapter. With this came with the fact that the government really wants to engage and to listen to the youth, like directly through the ruling party. The other thing that I have observed for the past few months that I have been there, it has included us in policy making. Students from different universities have been included in the new funding model committee. Yes, that's what I have observed so far. Ile ya kujionea.
Hiyo ni roho safi. Sasa. So quickly, Madam Faith Nora, on youth fund. Ambia comrades some of the ideas they can actually just run with in 2 minutes.
Comrade wisdom. Comrade wisdom. No matter how tall your grandfather was, you must do your own growing. Form ni kujituma, comrades. And we have provided all the opportunities that are there. I don't want to belabor myself. Mine is to just challenge comrades, take advantage of these affirmative action programs that the Kenya Kwanza government is fronting for you to play a key role in nation building. And I also want to request SG, after all these regional forums, if we can have one more national comrades forum, and at that time, I want to take a register of which comrade chapter has the highest uptake of the youth fund products. I've already shared. So from the previous engagements that we've had, I've seen there is really very good proposals. Some of the proposals that we have received, there is a SACCO that has been formed by a fourth-year student in Kisumu, South Mugirango Farmers SACCO Society. And with that, we have already taken up their proposal. We are going to give them 1 million Kenyan shillings for them to work with young people who are engaged in pig farming. And we also have some other ideas that other young people have already brought on board. We have content creators who want support with equipment. We have another group from Uasin Gishu that wants asset financing. And I'm challenging you here. If you have an idea, don't sleep on it. Come to Youth Fund. Let's commercialize it. You must do your own growing. Thank you.
Asante. Madam Magdalene, you are in Livestock, yes, but specifically as a policy person. Sometimes we make policy look like it's witchcraft, like it's too difficult a conversation to have. As a policy person, do comrades have space in the policy making area? In just 2 minutes, then I'll bring in Joshua. I have got a question for you. You nayo ni vita kidogo tutapigana, then let SG.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, as the young people in Kenya, when we are formulating policy is usually for the populace, and we usually do it through public participation. So wherever we have stakeholders and public participation, we usually call on young representatives, and yes, usually have a role in policy making.
Thank you. Joshua, director, kuja. Kamoja tu. Chukua microphone. You know, Joshua comes from the office of the government spokesperson as a director public communication. On top of your head, nataka tu uambia vijana nini serikali, sisi kama serikali tunawafanyia nini? Unajua by the way sisi ni chama, sisi tuna our own. So tuliwatuma, nini mnafanyia hawa?
Wisdom. Wanaita nini? Comrade wisdom.
Wisdom.
No matter how short you are. Oh man. So there are many things he's doing. I just wanted first to answer one question that was asked about youth in the government. We have the youngest minister for water, Eric Mugaa, at 34 years. Is a youth in this government. We have the youngest, yes. Wildlife. Yeah, Sylvia Museya. Yeah, around 33 years. Just a youth. And we have also another one for culture and heritage. Umar Bashir, young person. This government is considering and giving opportunity to the young people of this country. Yeah? So, what was the question?
Anyway,
I had my own question to answer first. So
as in,
yeah.
top of your head,
Yes.
what are some of the programs government is doing for young people?
So many.
Because
so many.
you speak for
Yes.
government.
Yes, so many. There are many programs the government is actually undertaking for the youth of this country. Many has been elaborated, especially by NEA and even the housing. Opportunities for you guys are there. There are many. Employment. Even as we talk now, there are youths who are being interviewed today to get some jobs somewhere across the republic. Because as you know, as it has been said, the government can only consume around 1 million people because of civil service in Kenya. So the rest mnaenda wapi? Tukipata hizo majuu, tuende tu. Tuende na zingine ziko mingi ambazo tunapata. So there are many, as I don't want to repeat because somebody actually said that. But we have as youth online jobs. When you go to Jitume Center now, in every college, there is a Jitume, and the government is making sure that it is there. Jitume Hub. Jitume Hub is a place where you can learn as you work. Online jobs inside. When you have a computer the government giving to you, there is free internet, you get your job. NEA is here. He has said, you just go there for those 500 jobs. They are there. You just apply those ones first, and then the others, government is creating a cross for you to do jobs online. We have been working around as Office of Government spokesperson, and I can testify that in most of the colleges, like Arvis, we went there, people are working. Youths have done some online jobs. They have dollars. They are paying their own rent. There are even others have started businesses because of those online jobs. Others also, when you close school, you go home there, every constituency, the government is making sure that we have a digital hub in every constituency. Where there is internet, there is computer, you go there and start working. When you want to apply for anything, if it is SHA, you can go there, apply. When you want to do online transaction, there is their computer that government has given to you free of charge, internet free of charge for you. Just get there, do some work. There are many, many, many good things happening in this government, and it considers one of them, because the government is ruled by a party, or a party is ruling a government. This is one of them. What is it doing? Engaging the youths to get what you need, to understand you, so that those things, our SG here, will take to the party, through the president, and they will implement what you want. So they are giving you this time to engage one-on-one. The president has engaged you online. Kama penye muko online, alikuwa kule. Akawa na nyinyi. Baada anakuwa universities, anakuja kwa town halls kama hizi. So he is there. So I want to say, we are doing a lot, but because of time, let me end there. Thank you.
Thank you. Director says, however short you are, the government will listen to you and it will hear you. As in, who am I to actually doubt that, if director says that? Hello? I'd love to bring Professor Machuki, but you'll give me a minute. There's somebody I want to actually have to talk for a minute.
Comrades Power. Comrades Power. Thank you. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate our panelists and the opportunity which the party has given us to continue engaging with the youth. From my tribe, we are told that there are three major problems which a man can face. A man can face a problem which can be sorted by a chicken. Nguku. A man will face a problem which will be sorted by selling a goat. Boy, a man can be sorted out if he sells a cow. My friends, I am today challenging you, young people. Get engaged, get involved in economic activities. You know, back during our days, we schooled, after that we got jobs. But you have opportunities. I've listened to our panelists here discussing about economic activities which can come from farming. As people from Ukambani, I would want us to take that opportunity to get into those small ventures. A second point is that we've seen many people, many young people engage in the government. And I want to correct the notion that there is negative sentiments towards the government. What is available is the realization that people can engage the government, that people can demand for accountability. When the president was campaigning, alisema, we want to transform the agenda of hustlers. We want to get them to discuss. So I'm encouraging you people from Ukambani, na wale wengine wametoka elsewhere, do not shy away. Participate in political processes. Do not be afraid of taking the local bull, the local political bull in this area, to demand as much as you're demanding for accountability from the national government. Also demand for accountability from the opposition of the local area. Asanteni sana.
Thank you very much. Professor Machuki, in a minute.
Thank you very much. I want to compliment what Arab Sang said on the question on what government is doing. And I want to enumerate a number of those interventions. One, on agriculture, government has come up with different value chains that create jobs along the agro-processing, and the micro, small, medium enterprise development for the youth at the very lowest level. There is catalytic funding that is available called the Hustler Fund. I've just read somewhere here an African proverb saying, for a cat that aspires to grow into a lion, it must lose appetite for the rats. Right? For a long time, we have been in bondage, having appetite for fleecer, having appetite for digital lenders that have been predatory, and we have been having concern. How do we get many of the youth out of that predatory lending? The Hustler Fund is celebrating its 2nd anniversary, and we are moving into providing other products that are available. And therefore, one, in agriculture, government has done a lot, and that is why one of the priorities is lowering the cost of living. All these people here are the benefits of that intervention. Let's be factual that government has lowered the cost of living. Secondly, the catalytic funding, the Hustler Fund, has benefited many young people. Number two, the micro, small enterprise policy that was launched, and government is pumping in a lot of effort in ensuring that micro, small enterprises are supported. Many young people are in that space, and there is evidence. Number four is about what was mentioned here, and I want to underscore it, the internship program. Government has expanded that internship program to all the young people who qualify and have graduated from universities, and you are given that program. Lastly, the Teacher Service Commission is getting on board 56,000 teachers. Many of them are those that have graduated, and that is a program that no other government has ever committed into getting teachers on board to ensure that they bridge the gap between the students and the teachers. Then on on this aspect of the universal health coverage, the many opportunities that arise in community health promoters. Many young people are in that space because the entire of the health sector is moving into a digital platform, and that is where impact is gonna fail. So there is quite a huge package that has been delivered to young people. The only thing that is there is for us to be able to appreciate, understand, and then communicate effectively to all those who think that government has not focused on interventions that focus on young people. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I'd love to bring in the SG. And I promise that I'll give you a last round of questions. I will. At 1:30, we will leave. But then allow the SG to come in. There are other people he can introduce. There are other issues he can speak to better than anybody else.
Asante sana. I will stand here for a minute or two. Comrades, power. First and foremost is to appreciate this extraordinary audience on my behalf and on behalf of the party. I actually stood here to come and ask Mulili. This is probably one of the most engaging forums we've ever had, and the quality of questions and the patience has been high. I'll tell you my own story. One day we had a demonstration, and in that demonstration we did an entire circuit in Nairobi city, and we did not even kill an ant, hata ile mdudu. The Kenyan police at that time said, leo tumeweka peace, lakini vijana walikuwa watulivu sana. The national intelligence at that time said, those are people you must watch. They have focus. When you see people coming into an arena and engaging constructively, those are the people to watch, not those ones who cry to create drama. So I wish you all here in this conference and in this town hall the very best in your student life and beyond that. Secondly, this party is led by former student leaders. The governor of Embu, Cecily Mbarire, and I, way back in 2002, 2001, met on the streets of Nairobi, her as the deputy president of the student organization of Egerton University, and I as the president of what we used to then call chairman of Moi University student organizations. Together, we formed a student union called Kenya National Students Union. And our first initiative was to engage Mwai Kibaki in his revolution against the 24 years of Moi's rule. And indeed, Cecily and I led the student aspect and the youth aspect of the Kibaki campaign. Today, her and I are in the leadership of the United Democratic Alliance, the ruling party in Kenya, and we felt our little obligation was to bring the young people of this republic right into the center of politics, right into the center of policy making, right into the center of the UDA, so that together with you, we can be a factory which manufactures ideas and policies for our government. When we went to President William Ruto, he gave us his absolute green light to engage honestly and to the extent reasonably possible. Because this is not only the future of UDA, it is the future of this country, and in this we also have the present and the future of the Republic of Kenya. To divorce Kenya from ethnic organization and politics, and to ensure that we bring Kenya into a forum of policy conversation. That's why today, since morning, you have been talking about the new funding model, about housing, about employment, about the financial inclusion, about all manners of issues, but none of you has spoke about his region or his tribe, because we don't eat regions, we don't eat tribes, we eat policy, we eat what government has in terms of the outcome of our policy formulation and execution. So, to finalize, make sure that you have ideology like ourselves, so that you are not overtaken by biology. You will eventually grow old. The only thing that will keep you relevant is not your biology, it is your ideology. That's why when we talk about creating an institution, an academy for the UDA, it's because we want to be an ideological party that in your entire life you look at how the academy and that ideology has met government policy, and to that extent that we've been able to achieve those ideological aspects. Now, hii bottom up is probably the best revolution of our times, because we want to put the people at the bottom, at the center of economic inclusion. Now, those who have had more must allow others also to make a living. Those who have more must pay more. And those who have nothing, the government must intervene to ensure dignity of all Kenyans, in healthcare, in education, in other social aspects, including in our housing aspects and programs. Kwa hivyo, as UDA, our message is one. We will listen to the people, and the wake-up call has come from none other than the young people of this republic. We will pay attention to our people, and we're asking the leaders and various state functionaries who deal in various policy formulation, they must continue to keep close to the people. Listen to the people, pay attention to them, and ultimately keep close to them. Because they say politics is a game. That's why wengine wanaruka huku, wengine wakaruka huku. But the best definition of politics I've ever had was from one of the best women leaders we've ever had in this generation. The former Pakistani Prime Minister, Benazir Bhutto. She said politics is not a game. Politics is a romance with the people. To understand them, to share in their triumphs and tribulation, to show compassion. And state compassion only comes when you offer dignity to all the Kenyan people and all the people under your care. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to assure you, we will continue with the youth participation that was talked about. Age and ideology must go hand in hand. Unaweza kuwa wewe ni kijana mdogo lakini ni mwizi kuliko kila mtu. So that you might have age but no ideology. But you can be that person of fair age but are still burning with a youthful desire to achieve a better Kenya. So therefore you will also get a platform of expression and participation. Kwa hivyo, hiyo ndio kweli ya mambo. If we don't intervene as a country, if we don't intervene as political parties to create public education and public forums, the internet will intervene for us and create makeshift ideological formations. The internet Netflix will make you feel that it is more important for you to be gay or to be given rights to be gay than for you to feed your families. That is where the world is headed. Those of the West are telling us to appreciate things like gay rights, yet they don't tell us how we can put food and shelter and do the basic dignity issues on our people. Badala ya kufund social causes, badala ya kufund water programs, badala ya kufund education programs, they come here and fund gay rights activism so that every Kenyan has a right to make a choice. The only choice the UDA party has for its people is to better the quality of our lives and to better the future of our nation. Kwa hivyo, kumalizia, I am very encouraged for those who've asked about the grassroots elections. The grassroots elections will definitely take place. There have been some intervening circumstances, from the youth agitation to part of what we are doing right now so that we can have a new deputy party leader called Kithure Kindiki, to many other aspects that we have to undertake. So as we stabilize government and remove the arena of toxicity, to remove the ethnicity, to remove the mediocrity, and put in professors of political science, of law, to make sure we are a law-abiding country, we will now stabilize our political environment and ensure the UDA and you young people in this country goes to the next level. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to thank all of you, the panelists who are here. These men are not lords unto us. They are servants unto the people. Men and women. Wajua katika Biblia na katika Quran, Mungu akisema men amemaanisha women. Kwa hivyo, I'm grateful to the young lady who's taken the courage. I remember the first time I was given a microphone at Kamukunji. Baada ya kusema Moi kitu fulani, sitaki kurejelea sahihi because nimekuwa mzee kidogo. Idea zote ziliisha hapo. But I can tell you, you are courageous to go through this whole session. And to you who are policy makers, Professor Machuki, PS, my dear sister Terry Mbaika. Terry anakuwa is one of our most formidable PSs. She has managed to ensure that we streamline the county assemblies and moderated their budgetary expenditures so that they can focus on development and representation of the people. For that, I believe one day, and not too far away, in the next election, the people of Kaiti will know you are the natural choice. I want to also thank PS Maina. He has been a formidable aspect of this program from the very beginning to now, and as we progress to the future of this program. And he has given us ideas. He is the man and one of the centers of the affordable housing program, the dignity issues in this country. Nataka kushukuru National Employment Agency, ambaye pia leo amewakilishwa. Nataka kuwashukuru my dear little sister, Faith Nora Lukosi, ambaye amekuwa akisema that her challenge to you is by the end of this circuit, how many of you, through her and through their local offices, will have taken facilities for self-actualization. Natuma salamu pia kwa rafiki yangu Jonathan Mweke, a long-time friend, an ally. Once upon a time, me and him were in the same party, Wiper. Now again, we're in the same party because we are looking for government. We are not looking for the opposition. Tunataka kuingia ndani ya serikali. Send my love to him. Send my respect to him. Wajua sisi mara nyingi humfanyia viaka. Katibu PS Livestock anaitwa katibu wa mifugo. Kwa hivyo mwambie rafiki yangu katibu wa mifugo, sisi hapa sote tumekuja na tumesherekea na tumefurahi kuwa katika hichi kikao. To the many of you, as you go back home, because I will not stand again, I wish you journey masses. I wish you the very best in your lives. I am sure one of these fine days, not too far in the future, one of you, some of you, through this chapter, will make president of this country, cabinet secretaries of this country, prime cabinet secretaries of this county, governors of this country, and many other political positions that you will hold. Na vile vile, you can also become secretary generals. Ukafikiria mimi nataka kuwa secretary general mpaka siku hizo. So those of you who are asking about grassroots elections, hata hii kiti ya secretary general is up for grabs, kiti ya chairperson iko up for grabs, kiti ya organizing secretary iko up for grabs, na organizing secretary anatoka hapa kutoka maeneo Eastern. Anaitwa Kawaya. Kawaya. Na huyo ndio rafiki yetu, ameniambia in person that he is not able to be here with us because he is also the chairperson of the Energy and Petroleum Committee, na kuna mambo tunawatengezea ya mambo ya energy. Kuna mambo ya G2G ili tupate kawi ama LPG at a much cheaper rate, na Kawaya sahi yuko at the final phase of ensuring we implement a robust program for both energy and petroleum to ensure Kenyans have access to these basic commodities at affordable and accessible price. Kwa hayo mengi pia tunamtakia Kawaya the very best. Kwa hayo mengi, I want to thank you all and God bless you all.
Hiyo makofi sio ya SG. Tafadhali tupige makofi ya SG. I'm going to pick 3 last questions, one here, and the other one on the other side. But as you prepare, ushers, please take your stand. I'd love to bring Madam Mary Mutinga to come here. She's in the National Elections Board, and even as we speak about matters election, kuna watu wanasema walilipa pesa, sijui imechelewa. I love you in a minute. Useme tu pesa yao iko sawa, kura iko na chama iko imara.
Comrade Power. Kwa majina ni Mary Mutinga kutoka Lower Eastern. Mimi ni member wa National Election Board, and I'm happy and delighted to be here with you guys. And I love you all. I want to answer a question from the president of Lower Eastern. Where did he go? About elections. Yeah, he was asking, he paid for the money, and he has not gone for the elections. I think SG has explained thoroughly and said the elections were not done because of some issues, but we are coming there. I just want to assure you, the elections that we did we only did for 5 counties. And now currently we are coming to do 21 counties at a go, and we are going to do them right immediately after these a few hiccups we are facing. The other thing I want to tell you, register as UDA members, and if you want to vie, also you have to be a registered voter kwa IEBC. Ndio, so that you can vie for any seat. SG has said SG seat is up for grabs. Kiti ya chairman up for grabs for you guys, and we want you to be in the government. Our president, I salute him. I was not a member of UDA. I was an independent member. I was campaigning with PS Mbaika. She was in Kaiti constituency, and I was in Boone constituency. And then after that, President saw us because he has a passion for everybody on board. He wants to put everybody on board. So he considered me to be a member, and the rest and many more. For the youths, I want to encourage you to get into politics. It's not a bad thing, it's a good thing. That is what made us to be who we are today. So please, join in the band. We are there to support you. We are there to guide you. And our elections are free and fair. No ballot papers. We use gadgets. Right? Yeah, so we are coming for election. The person who was asking about elections, we are coming down at the grassroots. I want to give something that you forgot, Mr. Sang, for what government is doing for Kenyans today. We forgot about, I think we had about health. We forgot that the government, Mr. President, has given us those people who are going to door. Si munaona hawa wamama na wazee wanatembea kwa nyumba wakibeba gadgets za kupima damu, blood pressure, blood sugar, na wanapewa dawa. Si ndio mnamuona? Do you see them in your regions? Hiyo kazi yote sio ya governors. Hiyo kazi yote ni ya President William Samoei Ruto. Ni yeye amenunua hizo gadgets, akapatia hawa watu hizo uniform wanavaa nyumbani za kuenda kuangalia watu wetu. So the government is doing a lot. Mungu awabariki na nawapenda. Join UDA. Karibuni sana.
Thank you. Please clap for her. If it were in an ordinary event, I would have closed the event after the SG. But because it is the town hall, the people are supreme. That's why we are opening it up again for one layer of questions. I'd love to give it to comrades exclusively. So kama unajua si comrade, tafadhali usibebe mkono. Comrades power.
Thank you. My name is Philip Nyayo, the president of Egerton University and also the Nakuru County UDA chairperson students chapter. I'm encouraged by your speech, Bwana SG. My question goes to Professor Machuki about the banding and the new funding model. Now, I am a 5th-year student of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. When I joined in first year, the course was being offered at 450,000. Currently, the course is being offered at 630,000. A student in Band 1 is expected to pay 42,000 shillings. A student in Band 5 is expected to pay 230,000. I wish you to clarify on that shift of the expenditure of that course of Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. Thank you.
Thank you. Pigeni Daktari makofi, tuko loyal. And you realize that doctors are very precise. Hakuna story mingi haraka. I hope you do the same.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this opportunity. My name is Joseph Musyoki. I come from Makueni constituency. And I study at Mount Kenya University, a student of law. First, I appreciate the things that the government is doing for the people. We have talked on the agricultural sector, microbusiness sector, internships, jobs, and also in the health insurance sector. I appreciate all those efforts. But my question is, every day we are seeing comrades getting threatened, comrades getting killed. What is the government doing to ensure that the comrades, especially here in Machakos, the other day we witnessed Machakos University students demonstrating and fighting for their safety. What is the government doing to achieve that? The other day a student from Mount Kenya was, I don't know if she was murdered. A UN student was also faced the same, and many other comrades faced the same. Is the government doing efforts to address that issue? Thank you.
Thank you very much. In between here, do I have a question? I'll be back. Let me first of all go at the back. First, tafadhali.
Okay. By name, I'm Crispin Otieno Danga, student leader Manza KMTC. You realize in Kenya, implementation is usually a crucial thing. The other time you were fighting about the financial bill, it had some good things in it, but then implementation more so with regards to public education and sensitization. So this time government is implementing SHIF, yeah? And you realize that the grassroots citizens are not aware of the same as KMTC students with regards to our medical line. I think we have students who are fit for purpose. We organize for medical camps. I think these are very good thing if we do a partnership with KMTC to help us educate the citizens at the grassroots level so that they know the advantages of SHIF and so that they know the importance, and let us not have a situation where the public will reject it as they rejected the financial bill due to lack of public sensitization. So to the person in charge of SHIF, do the same. Yeah, after this I think you should, as a KMTC or parastatal under Ministry of Health, why can't you use us? We have students who are fit for purpose for sensitization of the same.
Thank you very much.
Comrades Power. Kwa majina mimi naitwa James Musio Kamboti, nimetokea Mwingi huko Kitui. Yangu tu is to encourage my fellow comrades, niwaambie hii chama ya UDA ni chama mzuri sana. 2022 mimi nilisimama nikiwa kijana mdogo sana MCA Mwingi. Na tulikuwa watu 10 walikuwa wakubwa zaidi yangu. Lakini walienda kwa rais wakamwambia kijana ni mdogo, hana pesa, tupe nomination free. Rais akamwambia siwezi wapa, endeni mshindane na huyu kijana, mwenye atashinda ndo ndampea ticket. Lakini wote niliwanyorosha, mimi ndo nilipata ticket na rais akanisupport. Kwa hivyo mkiwa kwa UDA, joeni UDA ndo chama na mko nyumbani. Asanteni.
Asante sana. I'd love us to run a response to this so that then we don't run the risk of getting so many questions. Town halls are policy conversations. Watu wanaogopa kuongea ndio sababu wao wanachapana mangumi, lakini sisi kama chama tuko tayari. Tunakuja kwa ground, tunaongea, tunasonga mbele. So, unless you have got a specific question to yourself, do not take an opportunity. I love to actually use this mic so that nikisimama hapa kama sina mic uone. So, we will start here. I love Machuki to be the last, because normally he's a little bit anchored. So, do you have a question that was responded to you? Okay, a comment?
Okay, as we finalize this event, I'd like to pose a question for you. Like, at an individual level, what are you doing to ensure Kenya is moving forward, be it being in groups that are pushing for climate change and all of that? It's the little things that matter, environmentalists and all of that. Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. She says the struggle for national development is everybody's business. A comment, a response to a question to you?
No question, maybe a comment. Allow me to make my closing remarks and say, besides the attachment and the jobs created by affordable housing program, the program currently has set aside 4.4 billion for okay. The affordable housing program currently on the ongoing project, we have set aside 4.4 billion Kenya shillings worth of project